This is my beginning algebra course. Today you're going to calculate your final grade for the course. And this is the last class of the course. So let's go ahead and calculate your grade. This is the point distribution. As you can see, there's 400 points for the homework and 400 points for the tests. Each test is 100 points for a total of 400 points, 4 tests. And the final test that you just took, there were 2 parts. Each part was worth 100 points, so there's a total of 200 points. And you add all those up and you get 1,000 points total for the course. Now you're probably wondering, well, how do I calculate the points that I receive from my homework? Well, it's pretty easy. If you did, let's say you did 3/4 of the homework, then you would get 300 out of 400. If you did only half of the homework completely incorrectly, then you would only get 200 out of the 400. But hopefully none of you, there's really no excuse for not receiving 400 points, full credit for the homework. In fact, if you if you did any less than maybe 350 points worth of the homework, I would kick you out of my class because you really can't learn anything unless you're doing the homework. So there's no excuse for not receiving 350 to 400 points for all the homework. Anything less than that, it means you really weren't taking the course seriously. But let's just say that you did 300 points out of 400, so you get 300 there. And let's say that these are your test scores: 78 on the first test, 82 on the second test, 52 on the third test, 91 on the fourth test. So you add those up. And let's say you got 155 points out of the 200 total for the final test. And your total score for the course is 758 out of 1,000. So then that would give you a C in the course, because that falls in this point range here. So that's just an example of how to calculate your grade for the course. If you scored anything below a 600, actually anything below a 700, then that means that you really didn't learn anything in the course. You have to retake the course. If you got an A, that means you know the material really well. If you got a B, that means that you know the material, but you have some minor things you need to work on. And a C means you know the material, but you have some major things you need to work on. And of course, like I said, anything below 700, anything below a C, and that means that you need to open up your book and you need to go back and I would just go back and do all the homework that I assigned. Just do it completely incorrectly. 99% of the time, you just didn't do the homework. The homework is the hardest part of the course. It takes the most amount of effort and work, and you probably just didn't do the homework. So you're going to have to go back and do that homework, and you can also use your textbook for supplementary problems. You can go back and watch my classes, but you cannot go on to the next course until you learn all that material. So if you pass this course, if you got 700 above, I'm really proud of you. That means you're ready to go on to the next course. If you didn't pass, again, like I said, just go back and do tons and tons of problems until you know the material. And you really can't retake my exams because you've already taken them, so you're going to have to find some way to test yourself. There might be tests in a textbook you can get, so on and so forth. But if you did pass the class, then I would recommend that you take a break. I would recommend the minimum amount of time for a break would be 2 weeks, but I wouldn't take any longer than 4 weeks for a break. So take 2 to 4 weeks. You don't have to take a break if you don't want to, but if you've been completing 2 classes and 2 homework assignments per week for the last however many months, then you're probably a little tired. So don't be afraid to take 2 to 4 weeks to have a break. And after that, you're ready to go on to the next course. And the next course is geometry. I just want to say, if you did pass this course, that's a huge accomplishment, because beginning algebra is a huge hurdle to jump over, and your math education. And what this means is you're starting to pick up some momentum in the math curriculum, because this course is one of the first courses, or actually probably the first course, that is really, really, really difficult. Also be aware that this is your first high school level math course. So you just finished beginning algebra, your first high school level math course. And I might have mentioned in the first class that some students, they take geometry their first year of high school. Some students take intermediate algebra, so it can be kind of confusing. But traditionally, technically, this is your first high school level math course. Because again, traditionally, beginning algebra is a ninth grade course, your first year of high school. So technically, if you pass this course and you did everything I told you to do, then you have finished your first high school level math course. So that's something to be proud of. So take your break, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next course, Geometry.